All right, amidst the chaos around Elon Musk's Twitter buyout, a couple pranksters pulled one over on the mainstream media today. It was actually pretty funny. Posing as fired employees, they walked out of the headquarters. Here's just some of that.
Listen, I got to touch base with my husband and wife. I got to get out of here.
Well,
yeah.
What's your last name?
Ligma.
So I got to touch base with my husband and wife. You see what they were doing there. It is pretty funny stuff. The press was duped yet again, but there certainly will be employees walking out with boxes in the near future. Musk already canned the CEO, the CFO, and the head attorney there on the right, who were reportedly all quickly thrown out of the building last night. Vijaya Gadde was a loud voice of opposition to the Elon Musk takeover, the one who banned Donald Trump from the site. Staunch proponent of Soviet-style censorship on her website, who reportedly cried when Elon Musk announced his takeover bid. Sad to see a global socialist elite so upset. There's a lot of fear about how all of us rubes will be able to survive without people like Vijaya closely monitoring and controlling everything that we do. But I'm sure she'll be fine with her multi-million-dollar payout. And I assume she's going to send 90% of that to the government, by the way. Free Bird was tweeted out by Elon Musk after the takeover, and Hill columnist Kristin Tate joins me now to talk more about all this. Kristin, good to see you on a Friday night. Your thoughts on the takeover and the fearful left?
Well, good riddance to these fired higher-ups. I mean,
yeah.
These people are just disgraceful. But the left is in a total panic over Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. And the reason why is very simple, because by suppressing certain speech on Twitter, these powerful leftists can create the perception that all of their crazy ideas are far more popular than they actually are, and make average Americans who don't agree with those ideas feel like they're in the minority. I mean, take the idea of transgender procedures on minors, right? If you go on Twitter, anyone who questions these procedures or calls those who promote them groomers or anything like that, they get banned, silenced, and suppressed. So when you go on Twitter, all you see are really positive stories about transgender surgeries on minors and, oh, isn't this so great? And you get the perception that this is a really popular thing in America. But in reality, I just saw a poll a couple of days ago that showed 80% of Americans oppose allowing transgender surgeries for minors. That includes the majority of Democrats. So the leftists in control of Twitter have been using their platform to skew perceptions of different issues in America. And they are panicked now, Rob, because their monopoly on free speech has now been threatened.
And I said the same thing last night. The people in this country are not represented by the mainstream press, by big tech. They have this. There's almost like there's an illusion wrapped around us or something like that, where you feel like, oh wow, everybody just agrees. Nobody agrees with these things, but they trick us that way, and it's exactly the way it works. The Washington Post reporter Taylor Lorenz, bottom feeder, spends all day trying to get people canceled, says she feels like the gates of hell have been opened. I thought that one was pretty good. And on both sides, there is this belief that speech will be totally unrestricted. But that's not the case either. Musk says there will be content moderation on the site, but it's going to be a panel that will no longer be singularly liberal. It's, a panel like it is now, where it allows Iran's supreme leader to tweet unscathed, but punishes people for posting stuff about COVID that ends up being true 6 months later.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I mean, it will be a much more free speech platform now, hopefully, although, as you mentioned, there will be some restrictions.
Sure.
But it's been really terrifying. Transform from the people who would say, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it, to, oh, I hate what you're saying. It makes me uncomfortable. Therefore, your speech needs to be silenced. You need to be banned, and you need to be kicked off the internet. It's really scary stuff. And it can't be understated just how much of a threat to democracy. And look, the left, they're the ones who always care about threats to democracy, right? Mm-hmm. It was a true threat to democracy when the people running Twitter kicked the sitting president of the United States off that platform. And if you want to talk about skewing election results, how about the fact that Twitter banned the Hunter laptop story right before the election, calling it Russian disinformation with absolutely no evidence for that. And then, after the election, they admit, you know what? I guess that story was true. Oops. Oh, well, it is pathetic. It is so infuriating. And, Elon Musk, I don't know if he's a conservative, but it seems like he's not a leftist. And we can only hope that this platform will finally be more fair for conservatives who have been silenced for far too long.
Yeah.
And, that is the real attempt to steal elections, is the silencing of dissent from the people in charge of the media.
Yeah, very well said. Kristin Tate, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you so much, Rob.